Well, panel discussion here on our Newsmaker. I'm Brandon Arnold with the National Taxpayer Union, and our friend Dr. Bob McClure. Hey, is that an honorary doctorate or is that real doctor?
Stop! You don't ask people that question.
I joke with Bob. Bob is family.
Just say doctor and say.
Come on, Bob. That's funny. No, Bob's earned it. Trust me. So anyway, come on. Bob knows the shtick. Now, Bob McClure's a good guy. Bob is the CEO of one of the best groups, James Madison Institute, out of Tallahassee, a real policy-driven group. I mean, these are just not a soundbite group. I mean, like NTU, they focus on policies here and policies there. So we talked about a couple weeks ago. Brandon, let me start with you. The state-by-state that you guys put out, what happens if the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act expires, the average taxpayer in Florida. Wow. $3,600, huh, Brandon? That's the tax increase.
Yeah, we're talking about some serious cash here, and I think that's why the stakes are so high in Washington right now. Getting this bill passed, getting it done right, and there's still a lot of moving parts, of course, as it works its way through the Senate and then back to the House. Making sure that small businesses, American families, are not going to be facing one of the biggest tax hikes in American history, which would really be crushing for the economy. We'd see a tremendous amount of job loss, people's wages going down, just all the bad stuff that we don't want to see, a lot of which took place, of course, during the Biden administration, but this would be even worse than that. So we've got to get this bill right. We've got to get this to the president.
Okay, Brandon, let me ask you a question. You said something, and I'm with you. As a free market conservative, we got to get this bill right. I mean, the bottom line, it doesn't, and I don't care how you spin it, because I'm a big fan of NTU on a nationwide level. This is still a spending bill. I don't care if you call it reconciliation. There's spending measures here. Doesn't do enough about the Medicaid cuts, especially with illegal immigrants and those that are just being thrown nilly-willy on states, and they're just submitting the bill through the Unaffordable Health Care Act, better known as Obamacare, and the states are, the Fed's paying for it. What about, hundreds of billions still left over in the Green New Deal? Even I'm not a libertarian, but I like Rand Paul. Rand Paul says, if this is going to bring down the deficit, why are we borrowing $5 trillion? I don't hear many of my conservative friends talking about that, Brandon.
I completely agree with you. I'm a fiscal hawk myself. I'd like to see them go further on Medicaid. I'd like to see them put other programs on the table like Medicare. I would like to see those electric vehicle tax credits and other green energy tax credits ripped out of the tax code immediately if possible, because the longer we leave them out there, not only does that cost more, but it creates the constituency of people that are using these credits, businesses that are using these credits. They're going to fight to keep them on the books as long as possible. So this bill isn't perfect. I'm not going to say that it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Unfortunately, we have too many weak-kneed Republicans that are pushing in the wrong direction here, making this bill costlier, and that's why we need good folks to kind of make that counter narrative and sell this to those folks and say that we need to be fiscally responsible as we institute
Brandon,
really good tax laws.
I like your views. You are invited to the Christmas party this year, my friend. I like that.
Thank you much. I'll be there.
So let me bring in Bob McClure on the Florida side. Bob, I know you're traveling throughout the state. You get asked these questions. I know we talk about property tax versus the sales tax. That's a hot issue, but on the Florida level here, the implications of this tax bill, more pros, and there are a lot of cons to it as well if it's not passed, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And here's the deal, Ed. I mean, Congress needs to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. I think what Elon Musk did is going to be seen as a historic event through Doge, and that is going to be a long-term situation. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So they should be able to walk and chew gum, whether it's rescission bills or going back later to do other things on Medicaid or Medicare, the Green New Deal. But here's the thing. Failure's not an option here, Ed, particularly for Florida. I mean, across the board, if you look at it, you talked about the fact that Floridians would face about a $3,500 tax increase. That's across all tax brackets, whether you make $50,000 or $500,000. Secondly, 90% of Floridians take the standard deduction. The standard deduction is going to be cut in half, which is going to drive up the cost and the regulatory component of filing your taxes. Third, small businesses are going to get absolutely hammered in Florida over this. And fourth, and this is overlooked a lot, is the estate tax exemption is going to be reduced significantly. I mean, people don't realize, you do because you're a Floridian, Florida has tremendous agriculture. I mean, it's like the third leg of the stool behind, tourism and people moving here in the state, and family farms are in jeopardy. Wealth, all these people that have moved here over the last 10, 20 years are going to be affected by an estate tax exemption that is gutted. And so the bill has to pass. Pass the bill. Do we need to improve it? Absolutely. Is Rand Paul right? Yes. Is the Green New Deal a total and complete scam because of the corruption of the Biden administration? 100%. We're not through this yet. Let's get this. Let's continue to work through it, but pass the bill, give some certainty to people, to Americans, and then we have more to do via Doge and some of the other things that they're talking about doing.
Bob, can you do me a favor? Roger, you're like this one. You hang out with the governor. I mean, I've seen the TV. You're sitting right next to him. Mm-hmm. Can you tell him to stop being so conservative? Because now they're going to have a Democrat socialist guy running for mayor of New York, and all those flipping people are going to come down to Florida.
Absolutely they are. You're not joking. We're going to see an influx.
I am all for building a border wall in Florida right now from New York. I'm joking. Yeah, but anyway. Hey, Brandon, is there still time? I mean, Brandon, think about this. At NTU, the National Taxpayers Union, excuse me, usually the House is more conservative. The Senate, technically, in some ways, is putting a little bit more of a conservative menu on this tax bill. But is this going to get done before the end of July? What's the timing look on this one, Brandon?
Yeah, I think it's going to pass through the Senate, and maybe I'm being too optimistic here, but I think it's going to pass through the Senate probably over the weekend, maybe even into the early part of next week.
All right.
I think there's a good chance that the House comes back even during next week, which is a holiday week, and members of Congress do not like to be anywhere near Washington during holiday weeks. They're going to come back and maybe try to pass this thing sometime in the middle part of next week. I think that's the game plan. Of course, a million different things could happen between now and then, and it's even possible this thing doesn't make it through the Senate. But I think that's the game plan right now, try to get it done next week, get to the president's desk. I would not be surprised if President Trump, if it's before his desk, if it's to his desk before 4th of July, to have some sort of grand celebration, fighter jets flying over Washington, fireworks, eagles soaring through the air, trying to make it as big.
We'll fly him over New York City. That'll scare the crap out of the Democrat socialist guy running for mayor. I got so choked up by them thinking about all these people coming to Florida out there. So, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, but hey, Bob, what do you? Is it just? I mean, on the Florida perspective, is everything just on? Is it like a skateboard? You just kick, push, and coast? Is that just, or is there going to be more hopeful areas? Because JMI is a popular institute as well, like NTU, and JMI very well known in Florida. You guys are going to have to be talking to some of your congressional members by saying, guys, can we just get rid of these SALT deductions at $40,000 down to $10,000? I mean, are you still a little more optimistic, Bob? We might get this bill a little bit more conservative for Floridians.
Yes, I am. I think there's more that can be done. I think Senator Thune, remarkably, is leading in a tremendous way. I love the pressure. See, here's the thing. There's a difference between a Thomas Massey, who always votes no unless something is perfect, versus a Rand Paul, who likes the big, beautiful bill and is trying to get something done. And to your point, Ed, the Senate the House did a tremendous service. They did a lot of hard work, but the Senate is trying to fine-tune things. And I think Rand Paul has some opportunity. I think the senator from Wisconsin, Ron Johnson, has some opportunity there. There are some really strong, influential voices that are trying to make this better, but you can't make the enemy of the good the enemy of the perfect. And you have to be able to pass this bill and provide some certainty for the American people and for Floridians, then come back and let's continue with Doge. Let's continue with what Elon Musk highlighted. The American people were horrified by what they saw.
Yeah,
in the best possible way, but there's more to be done.
I hope so.
I'll add this too.
Quickly.
If they don't pass it, they could lose both houses of Congress. If we're going to be rawly political, they're going to lose both houses of Congress if they don't pass
Bob McClure, the CEO of the James Madison Institute, jamesmadison.org out of Tallahassee. Brandon Arnold, who comes on with us. I enjoy Brandon for the National Taxpayer Unit. He's another one that calls it the way it is, and so you're always welcome back. Hey, both of you guys, great discussion. I'm glad you guys came on today.